Welcome to the Copperfield Electric Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling a really crucial question. It's something popping up for tons of homeowners, especially anyone thinking about getting an electric vehicle. The big question is, do you need an electrical panel upgrade for an EV charger? EVs are, well, they're everywhere now, aren't they? They're not some far-off future thing anymore. And installing a home charger, that's usually top of the list for convenience. But just plugging in, it actually opens up this whole can of worms, electrically speaking, that you might not expect. So we're going to dive deep using insights from trusted sources and specifically tapping into the expertise of Copperfield Electric. They're a great local family-owned business right here in Southern California. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here really goes beyond just, plugging in your car conveniently. An EV charger isn't just another toaster or hairdryer. It's a major shift, a sustained one, in how much electricity your home is pulling. Most people just like, where's the plug? But the system behind that plug, your home's electrical panel, its whole nervous system, really. It has to be strong enough, robust enough for this new, pretty demanding load. Understand that it's absolutely essential, not just for charging speed, but really for safety, long-term safety.
That's a really key point, more than just another plug-in. Okay, so let's cut right to the chase then. Why do people so often need this panel upgrade for an EV charger? Our sources are pretty clear on this. It's often not a nice to have. It's frequently non-negotiable. We're talking safety, efficiency, and just. Does your house have the basic capacity for this big new electrical draw? And here's something that might surprise you. Even homes that seem pretty modern, maybe they have a 100 amp or even a 200 amp panel, they might still need an upgrade, especially if the system's a bit older or, you've added a lot of power-hungry stuff over the years.
Exactly right. And the core reason, it boils down to the sheer power difference.
Yes.
Think about it. Your average lamp or TV runs on 120 volts.
Yeah.
But a level 2 charger, which is what most people install at home for practical charging speeds, that needs 240 volts. And it's pulling maybe 30, 40, sometimes 50 amps continuously for hours.
Hours, yeah, not like a microwave for 2 minutes.
Precisely. It's a heavy, continuous load. Very few things in your house do that. It's almost like running your central AC, your electric oven, and maybe your clothes dryer all at once.
Wow.
And doing that for hours, potentially every night. So it's not just about, is there an empty slot on the panel for a new breaker? It's about the whole system. Can the panel itself and the main service line coming into your house actually sustain that huge continuous power draw without getting overloaded? Or worse. This really raises an important question for homeowners. Have you actually thought about the total electrical load your house is already handling before you add something this big?
That total load, I think that's what catches people out. I can just picture it. Someone plugs in their shiny new EV, the air conditioning's running full blast because it's summer, maybe the oven's on for dinner, kids are gaming. That sounds like, well, best case, you trip a breaker, right? Worst case, maybe something much more serious.
Absolutely. That scenario, that's exactly the kind of thing we're talking about.
Can you maybe talk about the biggest misconception? What's the main thing people get wrong when they first think about this?
Yeah, definitely. One of the biggest ones we see, and the sources back this up, is this idea that if you've got a 200 amp panel, especially if it looks relatively new, you're automatically golden.
Right. 200 amps, that's loads.
Exactly. People think 200 amps is plenty. But here's the catch, the sort of hidden trap. Modern life has quietly eaten up a lot of that capacity already. Think about it. Do you have an induction cooktop now? Maybe powerful gaming computers, multiple big TVs.
A hot tub, second AC unit.
Sure, or even just a dedicated home office with lots of gear.
Yeah.
Each one adds to your baseline electrical usage. So yeah, 200 amps was really generous maybe 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But today, with everything else running, your existing daily load might already be pushing that panel pretty hard. Now, add a continuous, say, 40 or 50 amp draw for the EV charger right on top of that baseline, suddenly that plenty might look barely adequate or, actually not enough. It's not just about having some room left. It's about having enough spare capacity for this big new continuous demand.
That's such a good point about those hidden limits. It leads perfectly into the main reasons why an upgrade often becomes totally essential. Our sources highlight 3 main things. First one, capacity issues. Simple as that. Your current panel just might not have enough available amperage, period. This is especially true if you're in an older home. Lots of them still have 60 amp, maybe 100 amp panels.
Oh yeah, very common.
And the consensus is really firm there. Those older panels, they are almost always not adequate for an EV charger. No. But even with a newer 200 amp panel like we just talked about, It could still be stretched too thin depending on what else you're running.
Mm-hmm.
An EV charger isn't like adding another lamp. It's a huge, steady draw. Your panel needs to handle that without constantly tripping or, much worse, overheating.
Indeed. And the second big reason, which often goes right along with capacity, is the need for a dedicated circuit. This is non-negotiable. Your EV charger, it can't share a circuit with your garage lights or your power tools or anything else.
Right.
It needs its very own dedicated line straight back to the panel. That's for safety, for efficiency, and it's what the electrical code demands.
Yeah.
So if your current panel is already chock-a-block full,
Right.
no empty slots, or maybe there are slots, but there isn't enough overall capacity left to safely add another big breaker like the one an EV charger needs, well, then you need an upgrade just to physically add that required circuit.
You can't just piggyback it onto something else.
Absolutely not. Trying to splice it in or cut corners there, that's not just bad practice, it's asking for trouble. It's a serious fire risk.
And that builds perfectly into the third key reason, safety and code compliance. This isn't just about convenience anymore, is it? It's fundamental. Protecting your house, your family, installing something that draws this much power, it has real safety implications.
Huge implication.
Yeah. Your home's whole electrical system, especially that main panel, it has to meet the current local building codes. Not the codes from when the house was built, but today's codes. So if your panel is old, maybe it's showing signs of wear, rust, breakers feel loose, or it's just not up to modern safety standards.
So maybe it uses outdated breaker types.
Right. Then the upgrade isn't just for the EV charger. It's about bringing your entire home's electrical foundation up to code. That ensures the charger and really everything else runs safely and efficiently. It protects against faults, overheating, even potential fires.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, these three things, capacity, dedicated circuit, code compliance, they aren't just, technical jargon. They're critical safeguards. They're what prevent serious problems.
Like what specifically? What happens if someone skips the upgrade?
Well, best case, you get an annoying nuisance tripping,
Right.
breakers constantly flipping off. That's frustrating, sure. But it could also mean slower charging speeds, wasted energy. More seriously, though, you risk damaging your home's wiring over time. Overheating inside the walls, inside the panel itself. That sounds bad.
It is. That heat degrades insulation, creates electrical hazards. And yes, in the worst case scenarios, it can lead to electrical fires. These are not minor issues we're talking about. And that's why all the guidance, all the experts, they consistently stress you have got to consult with and use a licensed electrician. They're the ones who ensure everything is done right, fully compliant, and meets the highest safety standards for this kind of installation.
Okay, so let's say you've consulted an electrician, and yep, an upgrade is needed. What does that process actually involve for a homeowner?
Well, the sources explain that a licensed electrician starts with a really thorough assessment. They don't just glance at the panel. They look at the panel itself, the wiring connected to it, the main service line coming in, check the overall capacity meticulously.
Right. Do the load calculation.
Exactly. They figure out if the current system can safely handle that big continuous load from a level 2 charger, and if they find it's outdated or maybe just not boothy enough. The common recommendation, the standard approach really, is often to install a larger, typically 200-amp electrical panel, sometimes even larger if needed.
Yeah, 200 is usually the go-to for modern homes adding an EV.
And that larger service gives you the solid capacity you need, enough room for the EV charger plus all your other appliances, now and likely for the future too, gives you that peace of mind.
And just to really hammer this home, the professional expertise here is absolutely key. An upgrade like this ensures your EV charges safely, yes, but also reliably, efficiently, without overloading the whole system, without causing flickering lights or problems elsewhere in the house.
Not a weekend DIY project then.
Definitely not. This involves high voltage, permits, code knowledge. It's serious electrical work. You really, really need to consult with licensed electricians. They're the only ones qualified to figure out the right solution for your specific house. They handle the permits, they know the local codes inside out, and they make sure everything meets all the required safety standards.
Right.
That expert guidance, it's vital for charging your car today, sure, but also for the long-term health and safety of your entire home.
That's such an important distinction, getting it done right versus just getting it done. And, this is exactly where a trusted local expert like Copperfield Electric really shines. They're not just installers, they're a full service provider. They specifically offer both the expert EV charger installation for homes, for businesses too, and those critical electrical panel upgrades and replacements.
So they handle the whole process.
Exactly. They understand these challenges inside and out and can guide you right through it. And their team, you want this peace of mind. They're highly trained, fully licensed, bonded, and insured electricians. Plus, they're background checked. That matters when someone's working in your home.
Hmm, absolutely.
Being a local family-owned business, Copperfield Electric serves a pretty wide area here in Southern California. We're talking all over Orange County, Irvine, Anaheim, Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Newport Beach, Laguna, Mission Viejo, you name it, and the surrounding areas too. So for those of you listening in SoCal, you've got a local pro right there who can diagnose the situation and deliver a safe, complete solution.
Okay, so we know what they do, but let's talk a bit about why choosing a trusted pro like that is so beneficial for you, the homeowner. I mean, when you're dealing with your home's electrical system, arguably one of its most critical components,
Absolutely.
you need someone who puts your safety and your satisfaction first.
Right.
A reputable company understands that electrical problems don't wait for business hours.
Nope, they happen anytime. So look for things like 24-hour availability, true 24/7 emergency services. That means you're never left stranded, which is something Copperfield Electric actually provides right across Orange County. And a real professional commitment also means delivering fast, reliable service, solutions that are affordable but without cutting corners on quality.
Quality and safety have to come first.
Definitely. And they should back up their work with strong guarantees, like a 100% satisfaction guarantee. That gives you real confidence.
That's a great checklist for finding a good electrician. So what does this all boil down to for you, the listener, thinking about getting an EV? It means that knowing this stuff is valuable, but applying that knowledge is what really counts. And in this situation, applying it means making sure you have safe, efficient, and future-proof charging for your car and your home.
Future-proof. I like that.
Yeah, because when you choose a professional, you're not just buying an installation. You're buying peace of mind. You're protecting your investment in your car and your home. You're actively preventing those potential electrical hazards we talked about, ensuring your car charges properly, consistently, extending the life of the charger, maybe even your car's battery by providing stable power. It's really an investment in your home's infrastructure for like the next decade or more.
Okay, so to wrap things up then, if you're considering an EV, or maybe you already have one and you're thinking about that level 2 charger, prioritizing a look at your electrical panel and potentially upgrading it is absolutely crucial. Safe, efficient, reliable charging depends on it. Don't just assume it's fine. You really need to get your home's current system assessed properly. Make sure it's not just okay, but genuinely up to the task for this big new demand.
Yeah, and maybe this is a good moment to think a little bigger, beyond just the immediate need. Think about your home's electrical panel, less like just a gray box on the wall, and more like the central nervous system for your whole modern lifestyle. Is that system really ready for what's coming next? For the smart devices, the increasing energy needs, and, yeah, for the electric cars that are already here today?
Yeah.
Or are you just sort of patching along an older system, being proactive, reaching out to a licensed professional just for an assessment, even if you're not sure? That's a really smart step. It ensures your home isn't just ready, but actually thriving in this electric future we're moving into.
Well said. And for that crucial assessment, or really any electrical needs you might have, Copperfield Electric is available 24/7. They can help with everything from those vital panel upgrades to the EV charger installations themselves, plus any other electrical services for your home or business across Southern California. You can reach them directly at 626-622-9694. That's 626-622-9694. Make sure you're informed and prepared for your electrical needs. Thanks so much for diving in depth with us today.